Hi everyone. So welcome back to your mat. Today we are going to explore the standing postures in the Ashtanga primary flow. So we began with Surya Namaskar A and Surya Namaskar B, and now we're going to get into the foundation of our practice. And that is really going to help us ground our minds and bodies into the space, as well as provide some stability and balance in the feet. So really, let's talk about the feet before we get into the standing poses. You want to take a look down, and the feet will be about hip distance apart when we get into this first standing pose. But concentrate your energy on rooting down through your big toe, your pinky toe, and your heel. And you think about rooting down in these three parts of the foot, you're creating a tripod kind of with your feet that's going to extend the energy up to your legs, drawing the energy up into the pelvic floor, into your midsection, up into the breath, into the lungs, and the throat, and up through the crown of your head. Right? So finding or creating the stability in these three parts of your foot, big toe, pinky toe, and heel, are going to help you create the stability and foundation you need as you're flowing through the standing poses. All right? So let's begin. I'll start at this end of my mat today. Gazing down at the feet and shifting your gaze forward. Really root down the big toe, your pinky toe, and your heel. Maybe just close your eyes here. Feel yourself rooting down into those powerful parts of your feet. And the outer blades of the feet should naturally start to feel grounding. The arch of the foot should naturally start lifting. And then place your palms together at heart center, Samastiti. And we'll begin. So bring your hands to your hips and step your feet about hip distance apart. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge from your hips, sending the sit bones up to the sky as you reach down for your big toes with your peace fingers. Take an inhale, half lift, create some length in your spine. And exhale, fold in. Breathing here, holding here for 5 deep ujjayi pranayama breaths. This deep forward folding posture in our standing series is called Pada Angustasana. We're bringing our hands to our big toes. And breathe here. Feel the lengthening, the stretching of the hamstrings and the back of your legs. As you breathe a little deeper, start to feel the back release and soften. After your fifth exhale, lift up halfway. Get some elongation in your spine. And then exhale, slide your hands underneath your feet. This is Padahastasana, hand to foot pose. You're really standing on your hands here, bringing the toes all the way up towards your wrist. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, drop your head. Draw your belly, your chest towards your thighs. Lifting those sits bones up to the sky. Really drawing your navel in. Just allowing the arms to splay out. Feeling some shift of your weight into the balls of your feet. So into the hands, towards the wrists. And then on your next inhale, release the bind, lift up halfway. Exhale your hands to your hips. And inhale, return to standing, hands at heart center, Samastiti. All right, those are the first two poses of the standing flow in the Ashtanga primary series. From here, we'll move on to some gentle hip opening postures. We mentioned in Surya Namaskar and Surya Namaskar B that the poses were very forward facing. So the hips are very closed when you're forward facing. Again, those first two standing poses in the standing postures are very closed hipped, right? Forward facing. With the gentle hip opening in some of our triangles, in some of our extended side angles, just the gentle opening of the hips. So we'll begin from Samastitihi and continue to build our standing series. Bring your hands to heart center. And inhale, lift your right leg, step it all the way to the back of your mat, opening the arms out to a T. Rotating your right toes out over the fingertips, open up to triangle pose. Now this is a side-facing posture, so the hips are open. We're leaning back, tilting the pelvis forward, stacking the arms, creating this triangle. And that reminds us to come back to our feet, the tripod we're creating with the big toe, the pinky toe, and the heel. We stay here for 5 long, deep ujjayi breaths. Gaze down on an exhale. Let your inhale bring you up, side facing. Exhale, rotate you to the left, reaching out over the left fingertips and toes, opening up to your triangle pose, Utthita Trikonasana. Again, depending on where you are with your flexibility in your practice or how wide your feet are, in the Ashtanga practice, you could use the toe bind, grabbing a hold of the big toe, or you could let your hand rest on your shin, or maybe you have a block to help provide some stability. Take a gaze down on your exhale. Inhale up to your side T. This time we're going to take the triangle twisted. So bring your hands to your hips, turn to the right, square off your hips, so close the hips. Reach the left arm up, nice and tall, so you can extend it out in front of you. Right. Lowering the hand down, maybe inside the foot or on a block, or depending on your flexibility, to the outside of your foot. With a nice long spine and the crown of the head reaching forward, rotate your right arm up and tune into what's happening with the big toe, the pinky toe, the heel. Keep the breath long and deep. And after your 5th exhale, gaze down. Inhale will bring you back up to your side-facing T, like a star pose, and then we'll rotate to the other side. So again, closing the hips, forward facing. Right arm reaches up, forward and down. Spine is long, left arm waves up. So this is Pavrita Trikonasana, a twisted or revolved triangle. And we hold this for 5 big, beautiful breaths, checking in from the ground up, with the toes, with the heels, the legs, the sit bones, the navel, the spine. You gaze down on your exhale, inhale up to your side T, star pose, and exhale, close the pose at the top of your mat in Samastiti. So that's the triangle series, Utthita Trikonasana and Pavrita Trikonasana. What we do on the right, we do on the left. And then what we do on the right twisted, we do on the left twisted. So we're bringing balance to our practice. We're building that foundation from the ground up, right, with our feet all the way up through our big, beautiful breath and out through our strong arms and fingertips. Right, the next section in the standing series is called I guess you could say it would be like triangle pose, only with bent legs. So this is our extended side angle. So it's Parsva Konasana, side angle. So starting back from the top of your mat, hands at heart center, Samastiti. And inhale, lift your right leg, step it all the way to the back of your mat, arms out wide, rotating your right toes out. Put a deep bend in your right leg as you sweep your left arm out and overhead, creating a nice long line of energy from the outer blade of your left foot, up your left side body, and out through your left fingertips. Breathe here. Try not to dump into this arm. If you can go deeper, bring it to the outside of your foot, maybe even slide your other foot back a little. Breathe deeply, feel this full extension, maybe even look up at the lifted hand. Right, gaze down on your exhale. Inhale, come on up to your side T, star. Kind of call this like home base through this flow. And then rotate to the left side. So setting up the body like you would in triangle, but putting a deep bend in the leg. Right, gently lowering the left arm onto the left thigh and extending Utthita, the arm in this Parsva Konasana, side angle pose. And checking in with the tripod you built with your big toe, pinky toe, and heel. The strength and the breath. Maybe the drishti, the gaze up towards the palm of the lifted hand. And again, depending on where you are in your practice, maybe the hand comes down. Just listen to your body. Come to your edge. Don't go over. Great. Inhale, come on up to your star T pose. Great, so we did that on the right and the left. Guess what's coming next? You're right, we're gonna twist it to the right and the left. So gently turn to the right, come into a low lunge, and back heel can be grounded or lifted. It's just a personal preference. Whatever's gonna help you get the hips closed, right? Reaching the arms up. You can bring them into your heart center and take a prayer twist. Left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Or you can bring your left hand down to the earth, reaching your right arm up and over. Pavrita Parsva Konasana, twisted, revolved. After your fifth breath, come on up. Your side facing T, star pose. Turn and rotate. Find the bend in the leg. Again, heel can be lifted or grounded. Reaching the arms up to bring the hands into heart center. Twisting right elbow to the outside of your left leg. Or maybe bringing the hand down and reaching your left arm up and over. Nice deep breath. Gaze down on your exhale for stability. Inhale, bring yourself up. Side T, star pose, hands to your hips. Close the pose, top of your mat. Samasti. Okay, so that's 3 parts of our standing, right? We had the hand to big toe, hand to foot. We had the triangles to the left and the right. We had the side angles to the left and the right. We twisted both those things. Now we're going to come to the middle of the mat and explore a wide leg forward fold. 4 different expressions of this wide leg forward fold in the Ashtanga standing series. Prasarita Padottanasana. So come to the top of your mat, bringing your hands to heart center, Samastiti. And on an inhale, lift your right leg, step it all the way to the back of your mat, turning your toes to the wide side of your mat. Now you can open your feet as wide as serves you. Again, stable. Big toe, pinky toe, heel. Now bring the arms out to a T, take a big inhale. As you exhale, hinge from your hips, come down with a nice long spine, releasing your hands shoulder width apart. Like chaturanga arms distance, right? Inhale, half lift. Get some elongation in your spine. Exhale, fold in. You can maybe walk the hands back so that the heels and back of the wrists are in line. Maybe it feels better to keep the toes and fingers in line. Just take your nice deep breaths, 5. And after the 5th, lift up halfway on an inhale. Exhale your hands to your hips. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, arms out to a T. And back to your hips. All right, take an inhale here. So that was Prasarita Padottanasana variation A. Prasarita Padottanasana variation B, the hands stay on the hips. So just take a gaze up to the length. Even push down on the hips to feel that elongation through your spine. And then hinge from the hips. You can feel the crease you're making as you fold in, bringing the head down. You can draw the elbows back, gazing behind you. Crown of the head towards the earth, sit bones to the sky. Some nice deep breaths. Check in with your feet. Let the energy rise up the backside of your legs. Enjoy the stretch. And then come all the way up on an inhale. Arms out to a T. And then bring them back to your hips. Right, Prasarita Padottanasana C, when we bring the arms out wide to a T, We lower them behind us, interlacing at the low back. Inhale, slide the hands down to lift a little higher and longer through the spine and heart center. And exhale, lead with the heart, forward folding. Letting the bind pull some more weight into the balls of your feet, so the front part of your feet. Maybe if the feet are wide enough, the hands will come all the way down to the earth. Maybe never. It's okay. It takes practice. Nice stretch the shoulders. Keep the hands open, or you could press the palms together for more intensity through the shoulders. Right, next inhale, come all the way up. Exhale the arms out and bring them back to your hips. Last one, Prasarita Padottanasana. D, arms out, come out to a T. This time as you hinge from your hips on the exhale, you're going to reach for your big toes with that peace finger bind we explored earlier in our standing flow. The inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold in and give those toes a tug. Right? Let the toes press back. Remember the big toe is one of those 3 points in your foot tripod. So push into the big toe, push into the pinky toe. Right? Push into the heel, drop the head, lift the sit bones high. Right, next inhale, release the bind, lift up halfway. Exhale, your hands to your hips. Inhale, rise to standing, arms out to a T, back to your hips, close the pose, step up, Samastiti. Okay, so I would say that's probably the first half of the standing poses in the Ashtanga primary series. So we're going to stop there for today, but we're not going to stop practicing our yoga for the day. We're going to take those poses one more time on each side, okay? So meet me at the top of your mat in Samastitihi. And before we get there, I want to come a little closer and show you the toe bind, the peace finger bind, right? Like you're, making peace signs, but they're together, and you kind of create a hook with them. And you can either press the thumb on top of the big toe or, inside the big toe, but you're grabbing a hold. And we do this, standing, but we're going to do this later, right? A toe bind here. Let me get ahead of myself, but that's coming later in some more standing poses. But so the toe bind that we do with the feet hip distance apart, and then the toe bind we do at the end of the Prasarita Padottanasana, this is it. The elbows kind of come out and back, right? And you're hooking the feet, or you're hooking the fingers underneath the toes. Again, thinking about like a little gentle reminder of those 3 points in your feet to help keep you stable, right? So we'll take this part of the standing flow one more time together in the style of vinyasa Ashtanga, a breath for each movement, okay? And holding the poses for 5 breaths. And starting at Samastitihi, bring your hands to your hips and open your feet hip distance apart. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, hinge forward, grabbing the big toes with your peace fingers. Inhale, half lift, get some length in your spine. Exhale, fold in, sitting bones high, head low. Breathe here, Pada Angustasana. After your 5th exhale, lift up halfway, and we'll go right into Pada Hastasana. Slide the hands underneath the feet. Lift to lengthen, and then hinge to fold. Maybe bringing a little of your weight forward into the front part of your foot, into the hands, and a gentle massage of the wrists. After your 5th exhale, lift up halfway. Exhale your hands to your hips. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, Samastiti. Inhale, lift your right leg, step it all the way to the back of your mat, rotating your toes to the right. Exhale into your triangle pose. 5 breaths. Utthita Trikonasana. After your fifth exhale, gaze down, come on up, side T, star pose, rotate to the left. So push the right hip back as you reach out over the left, opening yourself up in a side-facing hip opening. Beautiful Utthita Trikonasana. After fifth exhale, gaze down, inhale your way up, side facing, turning to the right, closing the hips so we can twist into our triangle, reaching the left arm up, maybe reaching it forward and down, or waving the right arm up. Check in with the big toes, the pinkies, the heels. Gaze down on your exhale, inhale, come on up, turn to the left, square everything off. Pulling the right hip back, the left hip forward. Inhale to exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe. Gaze down after your fifth exhale. Inhale, come on up. And then exhale, close the pose. Top of your mat, Samastiti. Now we do that with bent legs. So inhale, lift your right leg, open the arms out, rotate the right toes, and bend the right knee. Maybe slide the left foot a little further behind you so you're not reaching forward or back. Lower the right hand, right arm on the right leg, rotate the left shoulder up, reach and extend out to the left fingertips. Breathe here. Utthita Parsvakonasana. Extended side angle. Gaze down after fifth exhale. Inhale, come on up. Turn and rotate to the other side as you bend and lower. Lift and lengthen. Check in with your feet. Check in with your bandhas, right? Engage the pelvic floor. The Mula Bandha, engage the abdominals, like 3 finger widths below the navel. The Uddiyana Bandha, gaze down on your exhale. Inhale, come on up. All right, we did that on the right and left. Now we need to twist it. You're creating this balance in the flow. So find your lunge. Maybe you reach the arms up to bring them into your heart center, or you go right into it. Right, give yourself some space, some grace. To find what expression of this pose works for you. Gazing down on your exhale. Inhale, come on up. But keep your hands at heart center, right, as you twist. Then exhale to the other side. Gaze down on your exhale. Inhale, come on up. And exhale, close the pose. Top of your mat. Samastiti. Inhale, lift your right leg, step it all the way to the back of your mat, opening the feet as wide as serves you. Inhale the arms out. Exhale, hinge from your hips, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, create some length, sending those sit bones up to the sky. Exhale, fold in, bringing the crown of the head towards the earth. 5 breaths. Maybe walk the hands under a little, not past the heels in this first Prasarita Padottanasana. After your fifth exhale, lift up halfway. Exhale your hands to your hips. Inhale, come on up, arms out to a T. Exhale, hands back to your hips. Inhale, prepare, keeping the hands on the hips. Exhale, hinge forward, Prasarita Padottanasana B. Inhale, come on up. Arms out wide. Exhale, hands to your hips. Inhale, arms out wide. Exhale, lower your arms behind you, interlacing hands at your low back. Inhale, lift to lengthen. Exhale, hinge to fold. Prasarita Padottanasana. Finish your fifth exhale. Rise all the way up on your inhale. Arms out to a T. Exhale, hands to your hips. Last one. Inhale, arms out to a T. Exhale, hinge and fold, reaching for the big toes with those peace fingers. Inhale, lift up halfway. And then exhale, fold in. Just the elbows go out, maybe back slightly. Pull on the big toe push back. Let some weight shift into the front part of your foot. After your fifth exhale, release the bind, lift up halfway. Exhale, hands to your hips. Inhale, come on up. And exhale, close the pose, top of your mat. Samastiti. All right, so that is the first part, we'll call it part one of the standing poses in the Ashtanga primary series. So we will continue to build on this Ashtanga flow, pose by pose, breath by breath, layer by layer. So take your time, begin from the beginning, meet yourself where you are, and know you're doing a great job, right? I will see you next time.